Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Since 1972, this family-owned business has protected both homes and businesses across East Tennessee. Quarterly visits, monthly visits, or just one-time visits, whatever service you need, call Southeast Termite and Pest Control just as I do. I use them. All right, two other guys I use. Welcome to our show, a couple of VFLs. VFL quarterback Sterling Hinton. VFL defensive lineman Shazon Bradley. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us. Coming up in the next segment, why doesn't UT open up the playbook and before they fall behind? We'll discuss that in the next segment, so you want to stick around for that. But first, I want to play a quick round of In a Word. So I want one-word descriptions of the group I'm giving you. And you can sound off a little bit, but for the most part, you know, sum these guys up. And I'm going to start down there with Daniel Hood. The offensive line. They had some struggles, but showed some improvement. In a word, the offensive line.
Going with better. And I'm going with it because you're not having the negative plays anymore. The one that I remember was Kamara in the backfield on the third down. 2 sacks. You know, it's a big improvement from where we're at. And Dobbs he's been able to have a little more time to hit those deep passing routes. So I'm going better.
Okay, Daniel Hood goes better on the offensive line. Shazon Bradley, defensive line.
Getting better.
That's in 2 words.
Yeah.
Hyphenated.
They're going to have to learn to play the run. I mean, they're getting after them pretty good with the pass, but the run, they're going to have to learn to man up and beat somebody and play the run and help those linebackers out a bit.
Well, especially right now, you're having to mask some stuff for your linebackers. You've got some issues. Will Overstreet, the linebackers, in a word.
IHOP, International House of Pancakes. Right now, they're getting blocked. They're getting blocked often at the point of attack. It is not good right now. A lot of those run plays, they are getting smashed and getting driven out of there. And that's why you're seeing a lot of these big plays. I think at times, defensive lines even got some of their gaps. But right now, if they get anywhere past that defensive line, they're getting to the secondary. They're not being stopped by the linebacker core.
Seems like there were 2 of us here after the Appy State game that said when you're so thin at linebacker and you've got a guy with a bum shoulder, you want to protect him and don't use him on punt coverage. Who was that? Oh, yeah, that was me and you about Jalen Reeves-Maben. Man, I mean, you're paying for that. You're winning games, but having him out there on punt coverage in Ohio, against Ohio, when you are thin at that position, that was a costly decision.
They're putting game tape together that offensive coordinators are going to continue to attack until they show they can stop it.
You've got to think, and we talked about this before the show, you've got to think Florida will look at what Georgia did against Tennessee's linebacker and say, why didn't we run it even more? All right, Sterling Hinton, I'm going to give you the easy one. We're going to end on positives here.
Let's go, man.
We talked about this guy on our Thursday Fox 43 show. I said he looks like a 90s style Vol. I think he's that caliber. I'm doubling down on that now. Mr. Jauan Jennings.
Oh, magical. Straight magical. I mean, the catch he made in the Florida game around the defensive back, that still is amazing. We got the team up. This end of the game catch, the man said he knew he caught it when it was called.
Yeah.
That's the type of confidence we have at wide receiver U. Yes, magical.
Yeah, they asked him after the game, when did you know you had it? He said, when Coach called the play.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if that doesn't underline the fact that this guy, he reminds me talent-wise, playmaker ability of somebody you would have seen on those 90s teams, which is saying something.
Yeah.
That's saying quite a lot. But he also made a play yesterday. It doesn't show up much, 7-yard reception. But it's one of these things, Sterling, I've been praying for, been talking about all year. You don't see Tennessee's receivers make a guy miss and get an extra few yards. He did, back-to-back plays. He makes a guy miss, 7 yards. Next play, Kamara makes a man miss, touchdown. They're starting to help Josh Dobbs on the other end of the pass, which that's great. That's terrific. It's about time.
A play that I saw Jauan make before the incredible catch was when Kamara made the catch on the sideline. He comes back, peels back on the block, and pancakes a Georgia defensive line. I mean, he put the wood to him. So, this is a guy playing for the team and playing hard to win.
All right, so to wrap, offensive line, better. Defensive line, getting better. Linebackers, IHOP, they're getting pancaked right now. It's a concern you're going to have to worry about moving forward. And then Jauan Jennings, I think you nailed it with magical. All right, when we come back, why doesn't Tennessee, and some of the guys may disagree, they may feel that I'm wrong on this, but why doesn't Tennessee open up the playbook more before they fall behind? Why does it open it up after they fall behind? We got some numbers to show you that kind of back this up. Come on back on the Sports Source.